Hello, my friend, brothers and sisters. So today I'm going to talk about how I did it, okay? How I got myself out of student loan default, okay? As many of you probably have seen my topic that I talk about how I went deep into my student loan default, okay? And today I'm going to explain to you how I did it and what kind of things I do to get myself back into, the way, back in track. All right. So it happened that I was able to grind, I was able to grind very hard, and I changed my mindset. I changed my mindset. After when I changed my mindset, I said, this can't be happening. I gotta do something, and if I don't do something, this is going to really destroy my life. I'm talking about this because it will destroy my life, as in the sense that I would have bad credit, and in like another 4 years, I will basically, my interest rate will go like a skyrocket. It will go high, and basically I would not enjoy life. I probably work, and then the money, or whatever I make, go back to, paying my loans and all that. But yeah, let me tell you how I do it. So I start to elevating my grinding. I went over, I got this job, and this job was paying me minimum wage. As some of you probably my background. I came from a third world country, and I'm not going to go into details, but I will explain it later. For a different topic, I can talk to you about that. But in my background, I came from where I live. I live life with nothing. I came from nothing, like struggling through the day just to try to get, what I have to eat and all that. So when I got my job, I made about 8K. That's how much I was making a year. That's a poverty level. That's making poverty level, by the way. So yeah, the Great Lakes and have set up a planned payment for me. They pretty much negotiate controlling all the deal. They told me that I would have to pay at least about $35 a month, and they're trying to set me up for a 30-year payment plan. And some of you know that, like, in order to set up for that long, basically I would use a Matterport. Like, let's say you are doing some work at your house, maybe at your house, whatever you are, and then you injure yourself. Maybe you're using a hammer and you're trying to nail a nail somewhere, and then bang, you hit your hand, or maybe you hit somewhere in your leg, and you're bleeding and all that. So over time, maybe in a week, you have a wound, and it's kind of like infected, so you have to clean it. So my question is, are you gonna take the Band-Aid and just put on it and expect it to be healed? I probably think it probably won't heal. Some people, that's what it is. If you put a band-aid in your wound and you think that it's going to heal, then you're wrong. You're mistaken. Because treating it by putting a band-aid, not like taking care of it, like cleaning it, putting some antibiotic in it, or getting it checked and all that, you need to apply all that. So that's basically what my student loan was. When the time I was paying like $15, $45, $35 a monthly thing, I was putting a band-aid into it. It wasn't doing anything. $10,000 of student loan. It was just like treating the symptom of it. But the wound was still there. The interest rate was cruising this whole time. I didn't even know that. I wasn't told. But I am awakened now by me changing my mindset. Read a lot of books, and so I stayed for quite a while in this job, and it was kind of like a stepping stone for me. So after that, I elevate my loan payment, and imagine trying to live off $8,000, paying rent, food, pretty much all the necessity, and entertainment and all that. Something called the Maslow hierarchy of need. You need I think there are 3 of them. Love, health, happiness, and living and all that. So if I'm mistaken, but this guy was a psychologist, so you gotta take all of that care of all those kind of stuff. But anyway, after that, I took some time and I thought about it. I was like, in order for me to go beyond what the situation of student loan crisis, I have to do something. So yeah, I started elevating my job search, and I searched for more job. I was able to get many interviews. I went to a lot of interviews, by the way, and I got turned down, and it wasn't easy. I fell down 20 times, I got up 10, 25 times, and I kept grinding, and I was blessed. I was blessed to get this job. And it took me a while, took me a few years. I was able to make about $20,000 a year, and I was able to climb the ladder. As some of you know, that I have a YouTube channel, and I title it the Oz Ladder of Progress. The name is Oz Ladder because a ladder represents stages of life, like getting up step to the next step, going up, moving higher to the step. That's why I choose that. I just thought I should explain that. But yeah, getting back into it. So I elevate that, and I was able to change my plan. Instead of the Great Lake or the the IRS, trying to tell me how I do it, I was able to use my plan. I used my conscious mind, simple logic, and I made my plan my way. So I was able to make payment like I started with $100 a month, and then when I was making a little bit money, so I increased 200, 400. Pardon me, something just fell down. 300, 400. Now I'm making like 400 a month, and I'm telling you, as I mentioned in my previous talk, my previous topic, I went through like interest rate and the principal about over like 6,000. I was able to brought that down. As for right now, I have 3,500 with 3,500 of my student loan. I'm making progress, and hopefully by the end of the year, my plan is to pay this loan, by the end of the year, so that I can start, the next step of my life. Hopefully I'll talk about that, about my mortgage, about my house, and then I would be able to start planning on investment, things like Roth IRA, mutual funds, buying bonds, and all the stuff that I overcome my literacy, working on it, financial literacy, and this is not what was not taught. Getting into those kind of business, something that work for you, put your money work for you. It's kind of like a robotic thing. Over time, like in 40 years, if I started by the time I am right now, my age, I could be a millionaire. This is not taught. This was not taught. Now I'm awakening. I'm awakening my conscious mind, and I'm telling you, if you can relate to me, if you're a millennium, because millennium are getting hit pretty hard, and even some Gen X, baby boomers still paying them. Yeah, so I am in the process, and I'm in control of it, and I'm gonna keep doing it that way, and I'll keep you all updated how everything is going, and hopefully, some of you, if you're watching this, I hope that you learn something and you can relate to me. Actually, before I close, let me tell you also what I did. I'll talk about that in the next topic as well. What I did. I have to look for more job, like a side job. And let me tell you, it's not easy. I made a lot of sacrifices. I slept for about, in the past, I slept for 3-4 hours because I literally go from work to work, and that's what I have to do. Maybe in the future, I'll try to be self-employed in the future. Maybe I'll get into real estate. Anything is possible. It's gonna take time, but it would be nice to be entrepreneur, maybe, having something that would work for me, because I don't want to work until I'm 70. I would like to be retired, hopefully, if my plan works. This nothing really. If I'm right or if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. I could be wrong, I could be right. It doesn't matter what I'm saying, and that's what the great things about life, But I always, try to speak the truth and the facts and all that, Be honest. That's what I'm saying. But it would be nice if I can retire, maybe not work until I'm like 60 something. It would be great.